Day 2 of the jury trial for Sean the Diddler Combs. Let's get caught up on the key takeaways from day 1, and then we'll get into what's happened thus far on day 2. Combs' trial began yesterday in New York, where he faces 5 counts, including 1 count of racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. If convicted, he will face life in prison. He has pleaded not guilty to the charges. These are the takeaways from opening statements and first witness testimonies. The prosecution's opening statement, Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson said there was another side to Combs, the cultural icon who ran a criminal enterprise with an inner circle of people who helped him commit crimes and cover them up. Here's what else she walked everyone through. Johnson detailed that Combs forced his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, to have sex with male escorts, filmed it, and kept the recordings as blackmail. Resources from Combs' businesses were used to sexually exploit multiple women, according to Johnson. Johnson also described freak-offs or multi-day events that Combs allegedly orchestrated where women, including Ventura, were allegedly drugged and forced into unwanted sex acts. Much of the prosecution's case will focus on Ventura and another victim who will be identified by the pseudonym Jane during the trial. The defense's opening argument. Defense attorney Tenny Garagos said that while Combs takes full responsibility for his violent behavior, is the responsibility on the planet with us? For his violent behavior, domestic violence is not sex trafficking. Here's what else the attorney said. Garagos told the jury that they will hear evidence of Combs' sexual preferences. And it may make them uncomfortable. What the fuck? You know what? But the panel is not here to judge him. Yes, they are. That is the whole purpose of a fucking jury, to judge it. What the? I'm finding it. For those preferences. The defense attorney called the 2016 video in which Combs is seen assaulting Ventura indefensible, but insisted it is evidence of domestic violence, not sex trafficking. Garagos also said Ventura made a choice of staying with Combs for 11 years and then made a choice to break up with him on her own terms. We're not going to talk about the age gap in all of this and the fact that he was also her boss. And that, according to testimony from yesterday, you can follow the comments back, he would send people after her. But okay. First witness testimony. LA police officer Israel Flores was a security official at the Intercontinental Hotel in March 2016 when he got a call saying there was a woman in distress. Here's what he said on the stand. He said he stepped out of the elevator and saw Combs and the woman in the elevator lobby. Flores testified that he escorted Combs and Ventura back to the hotel room. Flores also testified that Combs approached him in the hotel room with a wad of cash that he interpreted to be a bribe. He said he declined the cash, and he declined to do any real investigative anything, and he didn't exactly protect Ventura. But I digress. Let's continue. He said Ventura later left the hotel with a purple eye. He filed a report on the incident after, but said he didn't call the police because there was no victim there. Obviously, nobody was pressing charges. You said that woman's eye was dotted, and then you say she wasn't a victim. Second witness testimony came from Daniel Phillip, who described his role as managing male strippers for women. Phillip will be back on the stand today, and here's what he said yesterday. Phillip said he was called in 2012 and received money to have sex with Ventura. He testified to having sex with Ventura while Combs was sitting in the corner masturbating. He said that Combs would direct him and Ventura as they had sex, ask them to use baby oil every time, copious amounts of baby oil. And the sex was on one or two occasions. Phillips said Combs once took a picture of his driver's license and said it was for insurance purposes, which he perceived as a threat. Phillip also recounted one incident where he saw Combs assault Ventura at her home, dragging her by the hair into her bedroom. He said he didn't report the incident because he was afraid he may lose his life. We'll get into what we know so far today in part 2. That'll be linked in the comments. Part 2. Let's recap what's happened thus far in the trial of Sean, whatever you want to call him, Combs. Judge allows messages between Combs and Ventura to be brought up. Defense attorney Anna Estavo told the court they intended to bring up messages between Sean Diddy Combs and Cassie Ventura when she was out of state and he was concerned she was cheating on him, and she told him she hadn't responded because she had gotten into a bar fight. Estavo said the incident demonstrates that Ventura has substance abuse issues independently of her relationship with Combs. Do y'all not understand how abuse and you know what? Whatever. Go ahead. Dig the grave. Dig the grave. Can I just be there to push him in? Allegedly. Judge Arun Subramaniam overruled prosecutors' objections and allowed the incident to come into the trial. I don't know how a bar brawl translates into drug abuse, but I'm sure they gonna paint the picture for us. But okay. Daniel Phillip was back on the stand for another day of testimony. Daniel Phillip, the mail review manager who testified yesterday that he was paid to have sex with Ventura on several occasions, was back on the stand. Defense attorney Xavier Donaldson will continue questioning Phillip. The jury started to enter the courtroom at that time. Phillip continued to detail sexual encounters with Ventura and Combs. Defense attorney Xavier Donaldson asked Daniel Phillip again about the first day he had sex with Ventura in front of Combs. Not long after he left the hotel room following their first sexual encounter, Ventura called him to ask if he'd come back that same day, Phillip testified. Phillip said he agreed to return to their hotel room at the Gramercy Park Hotel, where he and Ventura had sex for a few hours. When asked, Phillip testified that Combs did not direct him and Ventura as to how they should have sex that day. Ventura also appeared sober. Appeared. He is not a doctor. Phillip testified he said he didn't see her drink alcohol or take drugs while he was there with the couple. Does not mean that nothing happened previously. When Donaldson asked if Ventura seemed in complete control of everything she was doing during the encounter, Phillip testified, I cannot say that. Because if you remember from yesterday's testimony, Phillip admitted that there was a time that the diddler here gave him some ecstasy to take before an encounter. So there's that. And I really want to know, what is in the chemical compound of this baby oil that Diddy seems to need everybody to use in copious amounts every single time? I need to know that. Let's address that during this trial, please and thank you. Defense attorney asked Phillip about witnessing assault on Ventura. Defense attorney Xavier Donaldson asked Daniel Phillip again about the time he saw Combs assault Ventura at her home. Phillip confirmed that he went to Ventura's apartment after she sent him her address and they had sex before the assault. He confirmed that she did not appear to be under the influence at the time, so he thought. But that is diabolical of Combs. Knowing that he's dating this woman, claiming that this is the love of his life at the time, that he would not just have her set up these encounters and allow these men to have her phone number, but her address, where he does not live full time. Women and femme-presenting individuals will understand why I'm pointing this out. That is diabolical. Phillip said Monday that after the assault, Combs pushed Phillip and Ventura to continue having sex. Donaldson challenged Phillip's trial testimony with a report from a previous law enforcement interview he gave in 2023 when he told investigators that Combs told him, yo man, I'm going to need to deal with this. You need to get the fuck out. On the stand, Phillip said he didn't recall telling investigators that. I don't doubt that he did not. Defense attorneys asked Phillip to confirm parts of his testimony from yesterday. Xavier Donaldson was reviewing parts of Daniel Phillip's testimony from yesterday when prosecutors questioned him. There's not any new information that he gave, and Phillip confirmed the details that he already said on the stand yesterday. They are trying so hard to trip people up, but the only person that's going to be tripped up is the one that consistently lies. His name is Sean. Part 3 will be linked in the comments. Part 3 of so far in today's testimony. Under redirect from prosecutor Maureen Comey, Daniel Phillip was asked in quick succession to confirm who would direct him and Ventura to rub baby oil on each other, who would direct him to have sex, and who would direct Ventura to give Phillip oral sex. Each time he answered, Sean Combs. Now, Daniel Phillip, the mail review manager, wrapped up his testimony Once again, on redirect examination, Maureen Comey asked Phillip to recount his recollection of the moments after he watched Combs drag Ventura into a bedroom and then heard what he believed to be Combs beating Ventura. He said he experienced erectile dysfunction because he was shook by the altercation, as he should have been, but you also should have stepped in, called the cops, called somebody. Like, I would hope Yellow Peter Wacker wasn't standing at attention ready to bang it down after that. I was completely shocked and messed up in the head. There was nothing I could do, he said. She was afraid. I could see she was afraid. Oh, that's when you could see that she was afraid. Not all the, you know what? We're going to stick a pin in it. We're going to come back. There was a sidebar in between witnesses being called. Then the court took a short 10-minute break. And then Combs' defense wants to bar Ventura's husband from court during her testimony. Like, are they thinking this through? Are they thinking this through? You don't want her to have a support system within the courtroom. After you laid the foundation during opening statements that, she's pregnant, we can't really do X, Y, and Z. We can't question her the way that we want her to. But removing a support system, the psychological warfare behind that, you think that that's going to go well with the jury? Y'all just as diabolical as his nasty, disgusting ass, allegedly. Defense attorney Tony Garagos is making an application that Casey Ventura's husband be barred from the courtroom for her testimony. Garagos says that Ventura's husband may be called in Combs' defense case if certain testimony comes up when Ventura takes the stand. Garagos says the defense will not make an application to bar any other family members of Ventura from the courtroom for her testimony. She said Ventura's brother and mother are expected to be in the courtroom to support her. Yeah, I think y'all afraid that the hubby hub's gonna, he might say fuck this trial and lay some hands, but it's okay. It's okay. Ventura did take the stand. The former girlfriend of Combs, Cassie Ventura, took the stand in the government sex trafficking case against the music mogul. Earlier today, Ventura's attorney, Douglas Wigdor, did say that she was very ready to take the stand and told reporters that she is confident, as she should be. Because it did not help Diddy's case that he expeditiously paid her off when she filed her civil lawsuit against him. Ventura testified she was in a relationship for Combs for little over 10 years. Prosecutor Emily Johnson showed Cassie Ventura a photo of Combs and asked her to identify him. When asked how she knew Combs, Ventura said, "We were in a relationship for a little over 10 years. Ventura said some of their arguments would be violent and result in some sort of physical abuse. He would smash me in the head, knock me over, drag me, kick me, stomp me in the head if I was down," Ventura said of her relationship with Combs. Johnson asked how frequently was he sheerly physical with you during your relationship? "Too frequently," Ventura said. Ventura said she suffered injuries from the abuse, including knots on the forehead, busted lips, and bruises all over my body. And that is what we know thus far. Any further updates as they come in, I will bring them to you. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments.